Pobreng Haciendera. Welcome to Dumaguete again. Video ito, titaan. It's okay.
O, selfie ka na.
Ayan guys, pabalik na kami sa aming bus. Dahil kumpleto na ang lahat. Kami na naman ang nahuli. Anyway, susundan lang naman namin yung flag. Andoon sa harap. So, bye Eiffel Tower! Exit na tayo. Pati yung mga bulaklak nila dito, ang gaganda, no? Ay, di.
Como nyarle dyan. Halo.
Ano?
Como nyarle dyan.
Ang dami rin nagbibenta dito sa labas ng Eiffel Tower.
Today afternoon you are free to go everywhere you like.
And
Now we go
I have a
after
free
the
time.
ball. Are the stores open today?
After ng cruise namin, may free time kami mamayang hapon.
And then you're free. You will bring us to the hotel, no more? No, you're free. I'm telling you, you're free to go around.
Hala? Dadalhin tayo sa hotel, di ba? Alam ko. Dadalhin tayo sa hotel. After this, mag-cruise muna kami in Paris River. Cross River. Uy, ang ganda ng bulaklak. Look at this. Fresh na fresh yung mga flowers nila dito, no? Grabe, ano? Ako, layo na naman ang lalakarin natin dito. Ang bango. 1 million visitors today, May 1, 2023, dahil labor din dito sa Paris. So, holiday ngayon sa kanila. Hi guys, ayan. Yan sa Lavenda Cafe, hindi ka pwedeng mag-CR kung hindi ka bibili ng kape. So thanks to Miss Sylvia at nilibre niya ako ng hot choco. Ang liit, 4 euro. Eh wala tayong magawa dahil andito tayo sa Europe or Paris. So ngayon, picture-picture muna kami. Binigyan kami ng 15 minutes para mag-explore dito. So, ito yung aming bus, nag-aantay. Pero yung mga kasama namin, dahil pagod na, hindi na sila bumaba. So, anyway, picture-picture muna. Grabe, no? Hinaharang ka doon na you have to buy coffee before going to the washroom or bathroom. So, alam mo na, kumikita na naman sila. Super lamig pa rin guys. Lalakad kami papunta sa bus namin. Makasama namin sa ibang lahi. Sinipon ito.
Chicos.
Living in a different bus. So please, everybody, check that you don't leave anything, you don't forget anything on the bus, okay? Under your seats, check everywhere, okay? Because otherwise it will be kind of difficult to recuperate your stuff, okay? So pay attention to take with you all your things.
That's our hotel. No hotel. Bago naman siya. Ang laki-laki kasi kulang sa stock. Oo nga. Diba? Ang laki kasi lang kulang sa stock. Meron daw mas malapit na mall. Saan kayo? Meron daw mas malapit na mall. Sabi nung No Hotel Paris.
th century, because the former one was destroyed at the time of a civil war called La Commune at the end of the 19th century. And you see here you have a lot of statues all around in the facade, and these statues, they represent different artists, political figures and ministers. For all the artists, la ópera es más colorido, es más elaborado, ¿no? Pero tiene un poco el mismo diseño también, ¿no? Es más pequeño estos, ¿no? Está en obras de momento el Teatro de la Ville, Teatro de la Ciudad, que es el que está aquí a la izquierda. Y después vamos a ver, para terminar, l'Hôtel de Ville. L'Hôtel de Ville es el ayuntamiento. El ayuntamiento de París es el lugar que siempre fue el lugar del ayuntamiento, es decir, la administración de la ciudad, y el edificio que vamos a ver data de 1882. Luego, cuando el rey salió de aquí, en la época del siglo XVI, ya se fueron al Louvre, que ahora es museo. This is Place du Châtelet, here, Châtelet Square. El Place du Châtelet has on either side a theater, two theaters, which were built in the same time as the Opera House, and it's not so elaborate, but it's similar in the layout. La fachada aquí a la derecha. Look on the right, miren a la derecha. Look on the right, you see the Cathedral of Notre Dame, which is under repair at the moment, which is closed, of course, but this cathedral, which burnt in 2019, they hope to finish the work in 2024, and this cathedral is the religious center, of course, of the city. It was built in 1163, empezaron la construcción de la catedral en 1163. Y aquí a la izquierda el Palacio de Justicia, so you can see here on the left the Law Court, which is organized within what used to be the first royal residence before the Louvre. Antes del Louvre, la residencia real era aquí mismo, en la isla de la ciudad donde estamos. We are on the island at the moment, and you see the first public clock of the city in the 14th century. It was a iron structure in 1845. Ese edificio de la derecha, que es la Biblioteca de Santa Genoveva, es la primera construcción hecha en París con un armazón metálico en 1845. El arquitecto, the architect is Labrouste. And in front of the Pantheon you have two buildings. You see two buildings, they are similar, symmetrical. The one on the left is the Town Hall of District Number 5, el edificio de la izquierda allí que se ve, Mairie du 5e, eso es el Ayuntamiento del Barrio 5 de París. a la derecha es la Facultad de Derecho. On the right-hand side is the University of Law. And we are going to go downhill again. The street is called Rue Soufflot. Soufflot is the name of the architect of the Pantheon, and the street was opened by Haussmann in order to create a perspective onto the Pantheon. Entonces esta calle, revolutionary ideas, Victor Hugo, Émile Zola, Alejandro Dumas, the three musketeers, tres mosqueteros, unos científicos, so some scientists, and also some people who did something special for the country, like the leader of the resistance during the last World War, el jefe de la resistencia durante la última guerra mundial, Jean Moulin, etc. Just behind the Pantheon we have a college here called Henry IV. It is actually situated where you had a former abbey in the Middle Ages. You had a monastery there in front of you in the Middle Ages, and this is a school now, one of the very famous college of Paris, called Henry IV. And you will see a church on the right-hand side. That church is called Saint Stephen. La iglesia que van a ver a la derecha se llama de San Esteban. It's the only church in the Renaissance style in Paris, 16th century. Esa iglesia fue construida en el siglo XVI y es la única de la colina de Santa Genoveva que se llama el Panteón. Originalmente eso era una iglesia. Esa iglesia fue reconstruida después de una promesa que Luis XV hizo. Luis XV estaba muy enfermo y él prometió que no he visto de aquí, ¿ven? Entonces vamos a llegar de nuevo a la altura de la Plaza de la Concordia, que verán el obelisco con la punta dorada. So we are going to arrive back at the level of the Place de la Concorde, Concorde Square. You see the obelisk with the gilded point on top, gilded triangle. And so up to now we've seen the modern side of the city. From now on we're going to go towards the eastern side, which is the historical part. Hasta ahora nosotros vimos la parte moderna de París, la parte oeste. Ahora nos va dominada por uno de esos caballos dorados, láminas de oro, que hacen juego con la cúpula dorada de la Iglesia Real de los Inválidos, que vimos justo antes. Y detrás tiene el Gran Palacio, el Gran Palais, con el tejado de vidrio. So just behind you have the Grand Palace, we've seen before from the Champs-Élysées, with a glass roof, which was done in the same time as the bridge, as Alexander the Third Bridge. On the other hand, the decoration is very elaborate. As you will see, you have winged horses on top of each column at each extremity of the bridge, and the horses are gilded with gold leaf, and it actually combines with the dome of Les Invalides. We've seen the dome of the church, it's also gilded with gold leaf. 6,000 veterans living in Les Invalides. You see it's an enormous building. It was like a little city, in fact. It was outside of the city limits as well. Nowadays it's the War Museum, and you can see on top of the main facade you have the statue of Louis XIV on horseback, the founder of Les Invalides. El fundador de los Inválidos es Luis XIV, que está en relieve encima de la puerta principal. Han visto las ventanas del tejado también, que representan armaduras. You've seen also the windows on the roof represent armors, which is of course a reference to the veterans who were the ones living in Les Invalides. So we'll be arriving at the level of the River Seine in a minute, and in front of you you will see a bridge. It's called the Alexander III Bridge. It's one of the most beautiful bridges in the city of Paris. And this bridge has been done in 1900 for the World Fair, and it's the first bridge that they've been building with metal and not stone as before. So entonces vamos a ir alrededor de los edificios que forman los Inválidos para pasar por delante por la fachada principal. So we're going to drive around all the Invalides, but all these buildings on the left-hand side are part of Les Invalides. And then we'll be seeing the main facade, which is quite interesting too. It's quite impressive. But before that, you see in front of you, you have a big garden. And inside that garden, you have one of these palaces that had been built at the time of Louis XV for the members of the aristocracy. And this house later has been the residence of a very famous sculptor here who's called Rodin. And you will see the masterpiece of Rodin, which is sitting in the garden there. You will see it on the right-hand side in a minute. It's called the Thinker. Entonces, aquí a la derecha ya ven esa casa. Que era el terreno de entrenamiento de los soldados de la escuela militar y que ha sido convertido en un jardín público, que como no había ninguna construcción en el momento de la Feria Internacional de 1889, es la razón por la cual habían organizado toda la Feria Internacional con todos los pabellones diferentes en ese campo de Marte. So we're going to reach the center of the Field of Mars, it is called. It used to be the training ground de altura, pesa 7.300 toneladas. Y todo el sistema de ascensores y de escaleras está al interior de cada una. La Torre Eiffel aquí ha sido construida a la ocasión de una feria internacional. Eso fue en 1889, que claro, es una data muy importante porque es el centenario de la Revolución. Y claro, para esa fecha tan importante, 300 tons, and it has 3 different platforms. As you can see here, all the system of stairs and lifts is organized within each, the Museum of Architecture, and in the other one you have the Museum of Mankind and the Museum of Marine. And in between you have a terrace and a theater. Underneath is a big cultural complex. And this is on top of the hill, and it overlooks the southern side of the city. So we drive downhill and we are going to arrive at the level of the river Seine. And on the other side of the river, you're going to see the Eiffel Tower. Entonces vamos bajando la colina desde el Arco de Triunfo. Ven que estamos bajando para llegar dentro de poco al nivel del río Sena. Y del otro lado del Sena van a ver a la Torre Eiffel. Pero antes de esto, a la derecha, van a ver que hay un edificio que está hecho de 2 salas semicirculares. Esas salas que tienen al interior museos, que fueron hechos para servir de museos a la ocasión de la última feria internacional que tuvo lugar aquí en París en 1937. En la primera ala hay el Museo de la Arquitectura y en la segunda el Museo de la Marina, y area here, the area of the district number 16, it is called, which is considered as the most elegant part of the city of Paris. Was included into Paris in 1860 at the time of Napoleon III, and until that time you had nothing that was outside of the city. You had nothing at all. So they have actually laid out the streets with quite a space between the facade. It's a very wide avenue, very straight avenue, and you have a lot of trees. You have even public gardens like here on the right hand side, because they think it's important that nature should be present into the city. So they are going to lay out all this first for the streets, and then are going to build those buildings which are made with the noble material, they call it, the limestone, the slate roof, and the cast iron balconies. And you can notice also something, that you don't have any shops here. It's purely residential, and the one who are living in this area from the end of the 19th century on are the members of the bourgeoisie, which are the leading part of the society at the time. They are the wealthiest, they are the most powerful people, so they actually work, they entertain themselves, and they shop in the area of the opera.